Hi everyone! So today we're talking all about eyebrows. And I think eyebrows are super important to, especially if you're doing like a really sort of exquisite eye makeup, you're doing a really dramatic smoky eye or something, and then your eyebrows are kind of just like, eh. For people like me, I don't really have full bushy eyebrows. I know people say, oh, you should grow your eyebrows out. Well, I rarely pluck or tweeze any hair from my brows because there's already like so little to begin with. Now I know with the rise of social media and Instagram and stuff, you've been seeing this kind of brows on fleek trend, which means like these perfectly sculpted brows that are just kind of like fading in. You know, they've got the perfect fade from the inner corner and then it goes out, and then they usually put concealer like underneath and it just looks like perfect. That can look really cool in photos, especially like on Instagram or makeup photos, or if you're like, I don't know, doing a photo shoot, that can look really cool because it kind of is this very sort of stylized brow. But for those people who maybe want to go for something a little bit more natural and who don't have full and bushy brows to begin with, like these kind of Cara Delevingne beautiful runway model look, then I think this is going to be a great technique for you to fill in your brows in a little bit more of a natural way. So I really hope you enjoy this tutorial. Let's get started, and I hope this is super helpful for you guys. So to achieve this look, you're first going to need a really small and precise brush, kind of like this, like a pointed brush. And mine is actually one that I got from an art supply store. So go and check those out in an art supply store. Then you're going to need some kind of a brow pomade. Now I really like the Anastasia Dip Brows, but I know a few other companies are making very similar products like this. And you're going to need them in a few different colors. I know this is a little bit cost, intensive, but at least two colors I would think to get a more realistic look. One should be a little bit lighter and one a little bit darker. And I'm going to start by getting some of the product out onto a little spatula. This is not totally necessary. I just find it a little bit easier to get the product out, and it helps it to stop drying out too quickly. And then I first brushed up all the hairs kind of in the way that I want them to look once they're filled in. So just kind of get the hair all going in one place. And then I'm going in with the lighter color from the Anastasia Dip Brow. And I'm actually going to start individually painting in little eyebrow hairs. Now I know this is a little bit more time consuming, so for an everyday, really quick look, it's probably not the most time effective, but it does make the brow look a lot more natural because you're just drawing in hairs, kind of going along with the same direction where your hair is actually already growing, and you can add in a few more hairs here and there where you might have, a gap, where it might be more sparse. And because you're drawing in like little individual hairs like this, especially in the same direction, you can really shape your brow in whatever way you like. Like mine kind of end a little bit early, I want them to go in a little bit further, so I actually draw in little individual hairs going in towards my nose, and it kind of fills them in a little bit more naturally. And then I go in with a slightly deeper color in the same kind of shade as my actual brow hair, but just a little bit darker. And then I'm going to just go in and intensify that look, and this is really to give it a little bit more definition. You don't absolutely need to use two colors. I just find that it makes it look a little bit more realistic. And when I'm drawing in the brow hairs, I don't want them to look perfect, because when you look at actual human eyebrows, you sometimes have little hairs growing here and there that just occur naturally. So that's kind of what I'm doing with this darker shade, is just drawing in a few more hairs here and there. And then I like to use that brow brush again just to kind of groom the hair up, and this will also help to kind of blend out any unevenness in the product that you've applied. And then I like to use a brow gel. Now you don't absolutely need to do this. I just find that using a brow gel on top of the Dip Brow Pomade by Anastasia is that it really helps to seal it in place. It helps the color to really stay all day, and it also makes sure that you can put your actual brow hair in the direction that you want them to go. And lastly, I like to just apply a brow highlight just underneath the brow hairs that I drew in. This will help to lift up the brow and just make it look a little bit more defined and nicer. I hope you really enjoyed this tutorial and found it super helpful and you learned something new. And if you did find it helpful, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. And right now on the left hand side, which I believe is this way, they're going to link 2 more videos that you can go check out if you're interested in that. I have actually an old brow tutorial, which is kind of more the stylized look. If you're interested to see how to do that, you can also check it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, follow me on social media. I'll have everything linked below, like Facebook and Instagram and all that, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye everyone!